and welcome to Mantic Podcast, or whatever it is we decide to call it. I'm Robert Alexander.
And I am Maxwell McDougall, also known as Lord Marcus on the forums.
Welcome to the first episode. It's
a work in progress.
Yeah, it most certainly is. We don't quite know what we're going to do this episode yet, but we'll see.
We are currently down one member.
Yeah.
Gilberg is having computer problems, so he wasn't able to join us.
Yeah.
But we decided to push on anyways. And Gil, we're rooting for you, and we hope you get your computer back on soon.
Okay, so that's pretty much it. We should probably just say, obviously we're fans of Mantic, but I don't know if we necessarily are coming from the same areas with this. I'm a really big fan of Warpath. I like Kings of War, but I don't know. How about you, Max?
I like Kings of War. I think it is extremely fast-paced, which I like.
Yeah.
Because it means I can get a couple games in, whereas with Warhammer, I'd get maybe one, or maybe even less than one, because you know how people can take with moving their own stuff.
I most certainly know, because I play Skaven, so yeah.
Yeah. Anywho, Warpath I'm excited for.
Mm-hmm.
I'm currently trying to drum up interest in my community college. Got a couple people, but whether we will co-op to buy stuff is something totally different.
Well, let's hold that for Month in Mantic, which I'm sure we'll get into in a moment.
Right.
I think that's pretty much it in terms of introduction. Although I do need to say I absolutely love the undead models, and I think that for me that, like, even though I was following Mantic before and rooting for them, that along with a lot of other people was the turning point for me, and it's made me like even the dwarves.
Yep.
After having really paid attention.
Yep. I mean, I've basically taken the start of a Toon King's army, which cost me like $90 to start up, and then I added a bunch of Mantic figures, and the Mantic stuff has dwarfed what I bought from GW in terms of monetary savings and everything else. It's just been... And I love the models. They make great models. So.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, so... let's head straight into our month in Mantic. We have no idea if this is going to be fortnightly, weekly, or monthly, but month in Mantic sounds way better. So, do you want to fire away?
Yeah, so basically what month in Mantic is we're going to basically go over what we did in that month in regards to Mantic and other modeling. So for me, this month has been interesting because I started college, and so that's affected my my modeling time. But I did build 10 Dwarven Ironclads from my Morgoth's Revenge box set. Now, some of you may know that Morgoth's Revenge is now becoming Morgoth's Rising, and it's getting a different box. So this has been a while now since I got Morgoth's Rising, and I got Morgoth's Revenge when it first came out, so I got one of the first copies. So it's been a while, and these dwarves have sat around not been being built. So I built them. I also built some more undead. I'm working on a Revenant Horde. I'm actually deciding whether I should keep it as a horde or split it into 2 regiments, because I've had different views on tactics. Otherwise, it's been a pretty standard painting month. I've gotten a couple of the Perry's plastic Civil War Zouaves painted in my Mechanicus / Warpath / Rebel scheme. It's going to be red and gray. The Zouaves are red and tan.
Sorry, what are the Zouaves exactly?
They're when the war broke out, the Union didn't have enough uniforms,
Uh-huh.
so they bought uniforms from Europe, and one of those main suppliers was France, and so they bought a bunch of France's Zouave uniforms, and it's basically the name of the unit that was associated with the uniform in the Crimean War.
All right, cool.
So how about you, Bert?
Well, I have built two large walls that I don't really know why I built them. They're about like a foot and a half long and 2 inches wide and 4 inches tall. But
So like terrain?
it is terrain, but it's really large and it just blocks off the whole battlefield.
Oh wow!
I'm not sure why I did it,
Titan-sized walls?
but
You know?
it was kind of like these would look really cool. I've worked out a way of making polystyrene have a red brick effect.
Right.
But I wasn't thinking ahead, so I just made huge giant walls for absolutely no reason.
Well, you know what you could do? You could cut
What?
you could cut a hole in them and make it a gate.
But they're so pretty as they are.
Well,
Okay.
you
I'll
sacrifice
think-
things for playability.
Yeah, I guess I could use them as a castle or town keep. So,
Yep.
the other things I made, I built a ruined house for Kings of War. It's a 2-story house with an attic and kind of a tiled roof and a few windows in it. I really enjoyed building it, but I haven't painted that yet. And
I can totally see some iron watch shooting out of that. That'd be cool.
oh yeah. It's pretty much the only other modeling thing I've done, and I've actually not been able to paint any models or anything in the past month because I run a gaming club at a school. And I have just been preparing for the past month for the first week back at school to run the gaming club. So maybe I could go into that a little bit.
Well, actually, you know what? That brings up a point for me because this week I started college, and I found out that they had a gaming club, and then I found out that it's a wargaming club, and that they do miniatures war games.
Excellent.
But there's a problem with it, and that's that they only play Flames of War, which is the World War II game by Battlefront Miniatures. And I understand why they're doing it, because, the school requires them to have some sort of basis, and so they chose historical. And it's interesting. It's just it's going to cost me money that I to get into it so that I can play with the guys that I could have put into, say, other stuff. Extra Warpath stuff, because I've got some money set aside other than that for the Warpath starter set, which I'm going to order in the next couple of days since it just came out. Speaking of which, congrats to Dren Doran, the guy who
that was
Mantic
awesome.
chose as the winner for the naming competition. Fate of the Forge Star. It really is an evocative name, and considering that I write commission writing for science fiction and fantasy, I know what evocative words
that's true.
Are, and that he really did a good number on that, and congrats to him.
It's a pity that you can't use the Forge Fathers in the Flames of War.
Yes,
I don't know.
15 millimeter. It's just like they're gonna be stomping all over these tiny little World War II.
Well, maybe you could make a kind of Japanese army and Walker Attack or something.
Yeah, that'd be funny. I can play Kings of War and Warpath and everything else. It's just it won't be under the auspice of the club, and therefore I can't stay late and play.
Yeah.
Whereas I could if I was playing Flames of War.
Okay, fair enough.
Speaking of which, I did get my first game of Flames of War the other day, and it's pretty good. But anyways, it's basically just been building, because I've got a game of Kings of War against Emily Fontana, who runs on the Lamb games, and they do brush fire.
Oh yeah.
And I have a game against her because she lives near me. So we meet up at the same shop, and yeah, we're gonna have a game in about a week or two. So preparing for that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Luckily, that's lucky for you. I should probably explain at this point that we're doing this podcast over Skype, as Max and I don't live in the same country even. So you're where in America?
I'm in Central Florida, the Space Coast. More specifically, I am right across the river from the Space Center, where they launch all the rockets and space shuttles and everything else.
Very nice. Cool. So you're there, and obviously you've gaming clubs nearby. I live in the middle of the Czech Republic, and by the middle, I mean nowhere near anything. So my nearest place where I can game is about 2 hours drive away. So this is why I'm running my own club.
It's always a good idea.
Yeah, there's another club like 40 minutes away by bus, but it's the problem with that is it runs once a month, and I'm like, guys, seriously, once a month gaming?
I'm surprised why they even keep it if it's once a month. It's stupid.
Yeah, the school club has war games only on a Saturday, and that means that I can basically choose whatever games I want to play. So we've been playing this week, which is the first week, Blood Bowl and Warpath. So I got to teach 2 kids Warpath, and it was amazing how fast the game was. I couldn't believe it. Like, Blood Bowl took 2 hours to play a quarter of the game. But with Warpath, it took us 45 minutes to explain the rules, set up the board, deploy the miniatures, and you won't believe this, I didn't have an orc army, so we took all the orcs from my Assault on Blackreach box set, built an orc army out of that. It was only a 500-point game, put them all together, glued them, and all of those things happened in 45 minutes. So, and they understood the rules. We went into the game. I still helped them. And about an hour later, we had finished. And I was impressed. It was so quick, so easy for them to learn.
So even with setting up and building the models?
Yeah. And, you know, it was orcs versus Space Marines or Forge Fathers, obviously.
Right.
The guys had they had a good enough time with it. I don't know, like, how much they enjoyed it, but, you know, it was a vicious, vicious battle. Like, almost every turn, a whole unit was going off. Every time they rolled a nerve test, it was like they're rolling 8 or more, and a unit was just popping. And it ended up the Forge Fathers won, but narrow victory, you know, really narrow.
Yeah, it seems like you had a fun time at the club.
I think there was 4 models, literally 4 models left on the board.
Really?
Yeah, all of the units got killed. There was the aircraft for the orcs, then the orc commander, then there was the commander for the Forge Fathers, and the light Drakkar vehicle.
Yeah, the vehicle.
Yeah. Yeah, and the other thing was the ordnance weapon, like the Jotun
heavy fire cannon, yeah, or whatever the heck it's called, yeah.
That was it. Everything else was dead. Like it, and all of those things were wounded. They just managed to stick around somehow.
Right.
But yeah.
Did the kids like it?
I think so, but it was a learning game, so it's hard to tell with them. Like, these guys have played Mordheim a lot. They love that. They've played 40k in Warhammer. So I'm gonna ask them next time. But the kids who were watching the game loved it.
Yep.
The kids who were playing were really focused, so either they loved it or I'm bad at reading people. So,
right.
You know.
Well, I wish your club success, man, because that takes a lot to get started up. So, good luck to you, and I hope the kids keep enjoying Warpath. Anywho, we're gonna go.
Yeah,
There's gonna be a short break, and we'll get back to the
I
modeling.
think that finishes up the month in Mantic. Yeah.
Yep. All right, guys, we're back. We're going to do a news section now. This is really the first one that we've done as far as the podcast goes. So it's a bit of a learning curve, so please bear with us. So the plan is to go over what's happening with Mantic as far as new releases. And the biggest thing that's come out in the last couple of weeks has been all these army deals that Mantic has put up. We've got the mega deals, the ultimate deals, which are huge, and then the starter set.
Uh, the, these are all specifically for Warpath.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yeah. We're talking about the Warpath deals, not the Kings of War ones that came out before, let's say 2 weeks ago. So we're not going to cover that. Now, keep in mind, guys, that the prices we're quoting here are direct from Mantic's website. Of course, if you choose, you can go to other retailers and such like that.
I think I can get a 20%, sometimes 30% discount with the ones I have access to.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. So, I mean, if you choose to get that discount, that's your decision. If you want to support Mantic directly, that's also your decision. So, going over the deals, the first one that I'm going to start off with is the Ultimate Warpath deal. It's a mix of the Forge Fathers and the Marauders. It's about 143 figures, including the vehicles. You get the free rules, the printed rules, which they all come in, or they come in all of the sets, I believe.
Yeah.
And then you get a T-shirt from this, which is limited edition, and it's actually a kind of cool promo. I think that they're putting out a T-shirt.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. I mean, we all would want to have one of those, but I mean, if you don't have the money, you don't have the money. So, because they only come in the ultimate deals, I think, or something like that.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. And the two free miniatures that you get are the hero miniatures. So, the ones that we've seen, like the Forge Father hero with the Gatling pistols, and then the Marauder Warlord who has a power claw arcing up above his head. And so, those are the two you get free. And that's pretty much the standout stuff. The rest is basic troopers and everything else. It comes out to about 0.94 of a euro per model, or in USD, it's about $1.37 per model. So the deal is pretty good.
Yeah.
Now, granted, you get extras that we can't really account the price for, which is the T-shirt. So, I mean, we can say, what we think it would cost, but we don't know. So.
Yeah, I think. Do you want to explain how we worked out what it is per model?
Yeah. Well, what did we do? I actually.
Okay, how about
yeah.
will I take this?
Yeah, you can take that.
All right. So we had a bit of discussion about how exactly do you value a vehicle compared to an ordinary model, and we went through a few different things, like maybe it's worth 5 models, maybe 10, 15, whatever, and we felt that it was closest to about 8 or 10 models. So for ease of calculation, every vehicle is basically worth 10 models. So when you hear there's 70 models in the set, that could be 50 infantry and 2 vehicles. So just keep that in mind as we go along. We didn't calculate the price for any rules or free giveaways or T-shirts.
Yeah.
So yeah, just models.
Yeah. Moving on, you have the 2 other ultimate deals, which are race specific. So you've got the Forge Father deal, and then you've got the Marauder deal. The Forge Father deal comes with 91 infantry and 6 vehicles. Again, this comes with the T-shirt and the free hero. Where are we here? Oh, yeah, and it's gonna come to around buck 79, buck 80 in USD, or 1 euro 23. What do you guys call your cents over there?
Uh, we call them cents.
Cents. I didn't know. So
No, it's cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because I know the UK has pence, so I don't know.
Yeah, pretty much the euro currency just, they didn't, I guess they didn't want to be pedantic. I don't
Okay.
know. They went for cent.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Well, it makes it easier. So
Yeah.
1 euro 23 cents per model, or $1.79 per model in USD. So it's not too bad.
Mm.
In relation to the Forge Father deal, or pardon me, the Marauder deal, which is 151 infantry and 6 vehicles,
Yeah.
which comes out to about 88 cents in euro per model, or $1.28 in USD. Each Forge Father is costing you about 50 cents more, which I can understand, considering that a lot of them are plastic resin.
Yeah, it still kind of rankles with me a little. I know that they're being made to a better quality, but it's and I know that the Marauders need to be cheaper because they're more of a horde army, but it's just that little kind of kid inside me wants to say, "But come on, I want the same number," But it's not too
Yeah.
bad, but
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It's half a buck. You kind of usually you can deal with it, but when you think about it, Mantic is all about cheaper prices. So you gotta value whether you want to spend the extra 50 cents per model
Yeah, I think
to
that's
get what
going to
you
be a
want.
little bit of a problem with a few people who were really hoping for. I mean, they wanted to have their cake and eat it, which, to be fair, is an expectation that a lot of them were given by the company, in that, we're ridiculously cheap and look how cheap our minis are. But I do think that Mantic would be better making sure the quality is right, considering what I've seen so far of the Forge Fathers.
Do you
It,
not
it,
like
it,
them?
no, I think they're fantastic. I really do, and I think they're worth it. But I think that I'm not necessarily in a majority when I say that they are exactly worth their price. Now, maybe if they were uh, under a buck 75, I think a lot more people would be fine with it. But right now, at $1.75 per model, I think it'll be a problem for people. Not for me, but it will be a problem for people.
Right. Now again, the buck 75 price tag
Hmm.
is all dependent that this is a limited edition mega deal or ultimate deal, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, these may not be around that long, so that price is dependent on that.
Hmm.
Um, yeah. Moving on, we have the deluxe Warpath starter deal, which contains a mix of both Marauders and Forge Fathers. But it also includes the Mantic Messenger Bag, which I guess is the deluxe part. Like how they were doing the deluxe promotion for Deluxe Your Order a couple months ago, where you paid another $5 or whatever it was, and you could get a messenger bag for that much.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, yeah, and so the total models is around 67 infantry and 2 vehicles. The only thing you get free in this one is the rules and the T-shirt. Um,
Could you tell me what else is in the deluxe? Because, it doesn't
yeah,
sound like enough models.
yeah, it doesn't, but it's the rules, the T-shirt, the Metal Forge Father Hero, the Metal Warlord for the Marauders, a Warpath paint set. Which okay, this is another part of the deluxe, I guess. So it's a Warpath paint set with 3 Marauders and 2 Forge Fathers. Um,
Okay.
uh, and then a Warpath assembly kit, which I guess is glue clippers and everything.
Hmm.
Uh, Another 10 plastic Forge Father Steel Warriors, 5 of the Forge Fathers with heavy weapons, one of the Jotun Heavy Hailstorm Cannons, which is their vehicle that we just got concept art for.
Oh yeah, awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. 30 of the grunts for the Marauders, 10 of the heavy weapon rifle guys, and then one of their speedster or attackster things. So I guess this is like something you would get on top of another one of the mega deals or whatever to
Yeah.
to give you like paints and glue and everything.
Yeah, I think that it's good. It's not for me because I have all of the stuff, but I see why they're including it. You know.
Yeah, yeah. For someone who's just getting into, say, sci-fi or fantasy and wants to jump in full face first and spend a bunch of
Yeah.
money.
I
So,
can definitely see this going for people who started out with things like Dwarf King's Hold and other skirmish games who maybe don't have the equipment.
right,
Yeah.
right. Moving on, the mega armies are okay for their price. Again, the Forge Father deal is $1.75 per figure
Okay.
in American, but it includes the rules and a free hero. So you get the free hero still. There's no T-shirt because that's only in the deluxe one or the ultimate one or whatever the heck it's called. But you get 40 steel warriors, 20 of the heavy weapon guys, and 4 of the vehicles.
Okay, so I think we actually included the Forge Father commander in the number of models, but it's not bad, you know.
Yeah, it's not bad as far as models go, but then with the or the ultimate deal, you get 60 of the Steel Warriors compared to 40 in just the